What is going on, guys? Welcome back. So today I want to talk about a very common symptom of anxiety and why this is happening, and hopefully some things that can help you out. So you want to make sure you watch this whole video. If you deal with a fast heart rate due to your anxiety, you are not alone, okay? So if you deal with this, guys, do me a huge favor, hit the like button so we can get this video out to more people, and also to show that you are not alone. If you want to share your story with this, some things that have helped, what it's like dealing with heart anxiety, health anxiety, or just a fast heart rate in general, let us know that down below in the comment section. So first of all, guys, I'm not trying to play your doctor in this video. I'm speaking off of experience and some of the research that I dug up whenever I was going through anxiety. If you have not seen a doctor, it's important to go do that. I'm not trying to scare you at all. I mean, it's easy to scare each other, right, when we have anxiety. But the faster that you go get checked out, the better, because you're gonna always doubt. So go get checked out. If you feel like you need to take it to the next level, get a referral to a specialist, go ahead and do that. Get the ball moving with that. It's going to save you a lot of time. Don't be like me and wait, I believe it was like 2 to 3 months before I made a serious appointment to get things checked out, to actually get some blood work and an EKG and stuff like that. Don't be like me and wait that long, okay? Because what happens, we develop this association, we have all these negative thoughts, fearful responses, and we can solidify symptoms and basically sign ourselves up for months, if not years, of having symptoms by doing this. And it just takes a lot of work to get out of it. If you haven't been to the doctor and you're gonna go and you're gonna take my advice and go ahead and make an appointment, don't see this as like a death sentence where it's like you're gonna have to have this symptom for years because you waited a few months. It doesn't have to be that way. Once you start putting in the work through things that I've talked about on this channel or the things that I share with in my course, which you can find that down below in the description in the first pinned comment, you will be able to get out of this. It takes hard work and consistency, but you can get out of it. But go see a doctor, get checked out, get the testing done. And if you have done that, then this video is for you. So for me, guys, the first 2.5 years of my health anxiety journey, I primarily dealt with fear around sudden death and heart, cardiac arrest, blood flow, circulation issue, blood clots, heart attacks, AFib, POTS, strokes, aneurysms, everything that kind of circulated around blood flow, okay? But the heart was the thing that I really centered in on and focused in on first. And then it would branch out to other things. And then once I got past that, I would go in and out of other cycles. But the first thing that I really noticed leading up to that first big panic attack that lasted 6 hours was I was just more aware of my heart rate. I remember asking my mom about it. She was a nurse, and talking to me, she was like, well, Trey, you don't really live a great lifestyle. I mean, I was young, I was about 21 years old when this first started happening. But I was drinking a lot, and I was smoking cigarettes at the time, staying up late, eating fast food. I wasn't working out, you know what I mean? That's a lot of youngsters for you, but, my heart rate was going to probably be elevated because of that. Now, if I can think back, it's hard to remember the exact numbers, but my heart rate was probably like in the 90s to around 100, and I just became more aware of it. So there was already a little seed in there planted, right? I already just started to create this association and fear. Well, I had my first panic attack, and that leads me to the first reason that you can have a fast heart rate. And the most obvious one is having a panic attack or an anxiety attack. You are going into fight or flight or survival mode. So what your body is attempting to do is to pump blood around your body more efficiently and faster so you can have more efficient muscles, or your most vital organs and core muscles can operate better so you can run faster or fight something off. The problem is there's no threat in front of us. It would make sense for our heart to start racing, right? If we're about to fight, or if we're sprinting, or if I'm terrified, or I'm running away from somebody or something, or somebody jumped out and scared me. Those things make sense, right? But when you're just sitting in your bed like I was, and I had this first panic attack and the adrenaline hit, it feels horrible to have your heart racing. And then you're going to start thinking, oh, there's something wrong with my heart. So that's how my first panic attack happened. Got back from binge drinking for a couple days, came back home and laid down late one night. And I remember just kind of feeling my heart rate. And then I got a little nervous about how fast it was going. And then bam, an adrenaline drop happened. I felt it, almost felt it basically squirt out. Then that buzz, the numbness, the tingling took over. My chest got tight, felt like I couldn't breathe. and then I'd jump on Google and type in all my symptoms. And it's like, these are all symptoms of a heart attack. And then I was off to the races after that. My heart rate was probably bumping 150, 160 for that first panic attack. And it took forever for me to get my vitals down. That panic attack lasted about 5-6 hours. And then even after that, I was just revved up, guys. So the first big obvious reason that your heart can go fast is having like a panic attack. An anxiety attack is a lesser version maybe of a panic attack, maybe a little bit more prolonged, drug out longer. Maybe it doesn't have the peaks that a panic attack has. But anxiety attacks, obviously. And I want you to view it like this. It's like an engine being revved up. Panic attack all the way down here, you're pushing the gas all the way down. The adrenaline is another thing that's happening in fight or flight, guys, that's causing the heart rate to speed up very quickly. But your engine can rev like this throughout the day without it being pressed all the way down. So it can be like right here and have like an anxiety attack, or it can just be up here like, you just feel nervous, or you have this thing coming up, or you get the jitters, or you're nervous in your stomach, or you have anticipatory anxiety, or maybe you're driving, maybe you don't have a full-blown panic attack. You're still revving the engine with your anxiety, and that can elevate your heart rate higher than what the normal resting heart rate would be, or the normal heart rate for walking or doing some chores or anything, right? I feel like it makes us sensitive to so many different things, which we'll get into that in a second. But adrenaline and the fight or flight response causing anxiety attacks and panic attacks is an obvious reason why our heart is beating quickly, especially in the beginning when we're having a lot of these panic attacks. So that's the first thing. The next thing, guys, is focusing and checking it. Okay, the best thing that you can do for yourself right now, if you're worried about your heart rate and you've already seen a doctor, you've gotten some testing done, and they haven't advised you to check, stop checking. This goes for blood pressure too. We're just focusing in on heart rate today, but this applies to blood pressure too. Okay, one of the reasons your heart is beating faster is because you're worried about it. You're focused on it. I'm combining a bunch of them into this one point. You're worried about it. You're fearful of your heart, basically. Your heart's almost your enemy. You're checking nonstop. You're researching nonstop. But the big one that kind of wraps all this into a nice little package is you are living like a heart patient. I want you to think about that. You're also becoming more sedentary. So I'm going to combine all these different reasons instead of just going through one at a time, right? You're worried, you're focused on it, you're hypersensitive to it, you're worried about it being faster, so therefore it is faster. Just like any other symptom. If I want my chest pain to stop, it gets worse. If I want my headache to go away, what's going on? It intensifies. Just like anything else, your heart rate can get faster just from you thinking about it. My heart rate could be chilling in the 70s or 80s. I put my 2 fingers here and I check because I didn't have any fancy watch to check it back then. And by the time I get to a minute, it's already into the upper 90s to low 100s or faster if I went into a panic attack. That's how fast my heart rate could change. I had white coat syndrome, perfect example of this happening. If I go to the doctor and I sit down, my heart rate might have been decent, probably elevated walking in because I was probably nervous about it being high. But the minute I sit down and they put that freaking thing on my finger, off to the races. And then they're asking me all these questions. Is high blood pressure running your family? Do you have any issues with your heart? I'm trying to explain to them that I have bad anxiety, and that's what I believe it is. But of course, this messes with your head and messes with your doubts, right, and your acceptance. But I had white coat syndrome. So worrying about it being fast and then focusing on it by checking. Guys, I get it. Sometimes it's going to bring you comfort. For me, it mainly triggered me. If it's triggering you most of the time, it's a no-brainer. Get away from it. Stop checking. I know it's an addiction, but it's not doing any favors. Think about how many times it's like put you in a spiral and sent you down, panic attack avenue or whatever. It's going to continue to do that like it did it for me, right? I was just hoping to get some comfort, and very rarely did I get that. Maybe 1 or 2 times out of every 10 times I checked it, it was like half-ass decent if it was early in the morning or whatever, if I was still. But even if it brings you comfort, guys, you are still living like a heart patient, and you're having to rely on this. We want to be able to rely on ourselves, telling ourselves that we're healthy and that we accept and things are good, and I went to the doctor, I'm going to accept what they say, and I'm going to move on, and I'm not going to check. Okay, get away from checking. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because I've talked about this a million times on the channel. Get away from that, okay? Another reason why your heart is racing a lot is because you become more sedentary. You are afraid of doing basic things. I was right there with you. It's only going to therefore make you more sensitive to them, not to a dangerous level, but think of it as getting out of shape, but getting out of shape. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like you were a football star in high school and you didn't do a whole lot. Now you just can't be a football star. It's like doing something like bringing up groceries upstairs makes us feel winded, you know, or doing this real quick and then our heart starts to race, right? You know, we are becoming more sedentary and it's making us more sensitive to sudden changes of movement or lighter amounts of activity. The best thing that you can do is to start doing things around the house, start going for walks, start going for jogs, and build your way up. I get it. Some of you are scared to exercise because of your anxiety. I understand. But that's something that you're going to have to work on and do every single day. Get you an exercise journal and just do some exposure every single day and build your confidence. Exercise is going to be one of the best things for you when it comes to heart anxiety, because if you could do a little bit of exercise every single morning, later on when you're sitting on the couch, you're like, oh my God, my heart's racing or my chest feels a little off. You can say, if I was going to have a heart attack and die or have anything like that, it would have happened this morning whenever I kicked that workout in the butt. You see what I'm saying? That's how important it is. I put that off for 2 years, so I suffered for 2 years. Stop being sedentary. Again, stop living like a heart patient. And something else that happens, guys, once you stop doing that stuff, you stop getting up off the couch quickly, or you stop doing things around the house or bringing in the groceries or going up flights of stairs and all this stuff. When you actually do those things, yes, you are sensitive to it, but your body's like, it's like it overreacts. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, are we going into battle? Because it's already on standby because you've been focusing and you're always listening and everything like that. And now you add in the sensitivity and the fact that you're not active and you're not in shape anymore. Now, whenever you do this, instead of it just being, getting up off the couch fast, it's like, are we going to battle? Are we going to war? There must be something dangerous happening. He doesn't ever move like that, you see? And that makes it even harder to get back into exercise. Again, if you've been checked out and told your heart's healthy and all that, then great. I don't believe it's anything dangerous, right? It's just going to play with our heads, and it's going to make it more difficult to get into it. It may take us a little bit longer to, build back up that shape and to let our subconscious know, hey, we can handle this, we can do it. But you have to be brave, and you have to give brave and courageous responses to your subconscious. Whenever I say that, I'm talking about you have to talk yourself through it, either out loud if you're alone or in your head if you're around people. I can handle this. My heart's strong. We're good. I promise you. We've had XYZ done. I've had all these tests done. I've been thinking that I'm dying for 2 years, and it never happens. Every single day, multiple times a day, I think something's going to happen, and it never does. Look, we're getting through this. That's just a quick little example of kind of trying to talk yourself through it. Obviously, be more detailistic and descriptive than that. But you have to give good responses and walk your subconscious through this. So that's another reason we turn into heart patients by our actions, not from our heart actually having problems. We are checking our vitals all the time. That has to stop. You are focusing and listening to it, like, oh my God, was that a skip beat? Oh, was that a flutter? And I get it. Some of these things you just can't help but feel. But I'm talking about we have this superpower, we're really listening in, and you could feel anything and everything. Some of these palpitations that you're having are normal, but you're just so terrified and you're so hypersensitive, you feel it so much more than somebody over here that doesn't have anxiety. When you get up off the couch quickly, your heart is supposed to kind of, rev up a little bit to kind of supply you. It's a little nervous even on a good day, right? Right? Okay, we're getting up quick. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. It's doing a normal thing, but you're sensitive to it, and then you freak out, and it can turn into a panic attack. And I think, thinking back now, whenever it comes down to panic attacks and stuff, I think the most uncomfortable parts of panic attacks are the first third, 33% or whatever, if I had to put a number on it. I think that's because that's whenever you're just getting used to the heart beating faster and it revs up, you know what I mean? So that's whenever you can feel some of those skips or some of those palpitations or, the rhythm changes, those types of things. So get away from checking. Stop that today. No excuses. All right? Get rid of your devices or give it to somebody until you can handle it. Okay? Stop living a sedentary lifestyle, because you're going to remain sensitive or get more sensitive to even light activity and movements. Start doing exposure every day with your exercise, work it out small, building it up. Stop always trying to listen and focus. I know it seems impossible. okay? Stop trying to be so into it, if that makes sense, right? Let things go, and then let go of control. If you've been checked out, it's time to start letting go of control. Let acceptance, become the primary thing for you. But here, guys, if you need more help, okay, I want you guys to take advantage of this. I'm going to put a coupon code in this video because the holidays are coming up. Use coupon code Anxiety Recovery if you want a step-by-step plan that has everything from identifying and figuring out the root causes of your anxiety to a great freaking routine to follow every single day, through the perspective changes, the mindsets, all the way down to things that you should be eating and things you shouldn't be eating. Guys, grab that course and check it out. I'm gonna put it down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. Very affordable, but that's gonna knock another 20 bucks off. So use code Anxiety Recovery today to save for the holidays. That'll be down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. If you're interested in coaching, that information is gonna be down below as well. I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. I love you guys and keep fighting. Bye.